Hi guys, thanks for joining me on the Lisa Sports Show. South Africa versus Nigeria was a 1-1 draw. I think in the preview for this game, I thought Nigeria would win this narrowly or draw, but there's a big history of this fixture being a 1-1 draw. And yeah, today, after watching it, you could see why. Because, both teams, South Africa were really consistent. They got a lucky goal from, it was an on goal, a cross came in very dangerous, and Nigeria defender Trusty Kong basically just popped it straight past his keeper. And yeah, it was unfortunate, but you could see how it could happen. He tried to clear it, but he just wasn't in a great position. In the second half, Nigeria managed to get back into it by basically, I think, not even I think, the goal they scored was a lucky goal. If there was VAR, it was going to be cancelled because it was a handball. It was a handball all day long, but the ref did not see it. And it looks like the South Africans did not see it because they didn't protest at all. Let's have a look at what I thought the team was like. The keeper for Nigeria had some chances, he saved some chances. He was pretty okay. A few shaky moments. There was a time he dropped the ball, but managed to get it. In defense, Ola Aina unfortunately came off early. He had to come off quite early due to injury, limped off, looked quite disappointed in that. But he came off, and the pitch they were on in Bloemfontein was pretty awful. And when I saw it and I saw the first 10 minutes of that match, I said, you know what? The same thing I highlighted in another one of my videos where I was saying some teams like Nigeria, Congo DRC are benefiting from these players who come from these amazing academies who have got, a lot of football knowledge. The thing is, when you come from an academy in Europe or America, etc., or the Netherlands, anywhere, their pitches are going to be perfect. You are playing on carpets. And then you go to South Africa, to Bloemfontein, and see a pitch like that, which is dug up. The ball is just bouncing everywhere. And right there and then I thought, you know what, this game needs the local guys, these guys who used to play on, on stony grounds, and that they probably would have done better in that kind of game. And not these guys who have come from perfect pitches, because they just couldn't judge the flight of the ball. They couldn't judge the bounce of the ball. And it was crazy and interesting to see, because I was busy praising them earlier. And then forgetting that, you can go to a country in South Africa, who I thought would have great pitches compared to other nations. And they put out, they get a game, they go and play in such a stadium with such a terrible, dry looking pitch. Right. So Trusty Kong, of course, he caused that goal they conceded. Kelvin Bassey looked really strong in that defense. But the player to really praise was this young guy, Frederick. He looked quite dangerous in that right back position. He was really energetic, tried to make things happen, was looking for opportunities to try and penetrate, and played really well with Alex Iwobi in midfield. They played off each other really well. Wilfred Ndidi, I really didn't notice him make much of an impact. I think he just made everything quite steady, because the South Africans were really, I think, on top of it, especially most of the first half. They looked in control of most of the game. Alex Iwobi, apart from Frederick, is another player who I thought, after he got used to playing on that pitch, he looked the most threatening, because he started controlling the attacks from the midfield, and he was doing pretty well. Of course, they were not converted early on until late in sometime in the second half, where the equalizer came in from Dessers, who looked pretty strong on that header, helped by Bassey as well. But there was definitely a handball, and it shouldn't have counted, but it did count, and they managed to get themselves a point, which helps them maintain. Well, actually, I think they are in second spot now, just behind South Africa on the table. Adelmola Lookman had a terrible game. Let's be honest, you know, he lost possession several times, just could not keep possession. I think another player who is suffering from not being used to playing on such a terrible surface. In terms of South Africa, I was quite impressed with the control they showed. I think they've played Nigeria a lot, and they managed this game really well. Ronwen Williams, their keeper, Stadion, made some great catches. He was just in control, but he was protected very well by the defense, who literally just held their own. And yeah, Lau Foster, their striker, plays in the Premier League. He did pretty well, but overall, the biggest winners here in a draw were South Africa, because they maintain a healthy lead at the top of the table. So let me just have a look at this table. So South Africa now have 17 points out of 8 games. Benin, actually I was wrong. Benin won their game as well, and they've got 14 points. And Nigeria are in third with only 11 points, with 2 matches to play. For them to have a chance, really, they'll need to win both matches, and then hope Benin will lose both matches, and that Rwanda lose both their matches. And I can't see that happening. I think for the first time in a long time, Nigeria's chances of qualifying for another World Cup are looking really narrow. And yeah, it's quite unfortunate. We are used to seeing Nigeria. Their kit is amazing. Always, everyone talks about it, but I think they have really lost out. I did predict a narrow Nigeria win or a draw. I got a draw, but that means Nigeria are totally out of it, in my opinion, honestly. Because even if they manage to get to second, they're looking at a playoff. And I don't think they're strong enough. There's more that is wrong with them than that is right. And there's something disjointed about this team, and their additions are just not working for them completely. But yeah, I think I'll say congratulations to South Africa, because it looks like, surprisingly, they're going to be taking the first position and qualifying directly to the World Cup in 2026. So that is it. Let me know what you think about how this group is going to end up. How did Nigeria do in your opinion? What do you think they could have done better in this match? And then in the next round of qualifiers, what do you expect to happen throughout? So that was Nigeria. Let's have a look now at some of the other matches that happened in the other groups, in the African qualifiers. Let's have a look. So Sierra Leone beat Ethiopia 2-0. Egypt, Burkina Faso was a draw, 0-0. That was in Group A. In Group B, Congo DRC lost to Senegal at home, 3-2. There was a lot of trouble in that match afterwards, because the Congolese fans ripped out, I should be more annoyed, shouldn't I? Ripped out the seats from the stadium, and they trashed the stadium in rage. I'm interested to see. Let's see what this means for the table in that group. Oh yeah, I can see why they're fuming, because if they had won that game, they'll be leading the group. Right now, Senegal are leading the group after 8 games with 18 points, and Congo DRC are in second place with 16. And then the third team on the table is Sudan with 12. So chances are, if Congo DRC maintain their composure, they could finish second, and they still have opportunity, obviously, to win the group. But I think, Senegal are a very strong team. World Cup pedigree as well. They've got it. They've had a few opportunities to play at the World Cup, so they're not going to be letting Congo DRC take their spot if they can help it. So Togo beat Sudan 1-0. Mauritania 0-0 with Sudan in Group B. And in terms of Group C, which is the one where Nigeria drew with South Africa, Zimbabwe lost to Rwanda 1-0. So Rwanda are pretty decent, because Nigeria drew with Rwanda as well, didn't they? Or was it a narrow win? Yeah, it was a narrow 1-0 win to Nigeria, but yeah, it was a very tough match as well for them. Benin, Lesotho 3-0. From what I can see here in that group, like I said, it is South Africa first, Nigeria. Oh, South Africa first, Rwanda, then Nigeria. So yeah, very tall task for them. In Group D, Cape Verde surprised everybody, I think. I mean, we saw what they did in the African Nations Cup before. But yeah, they beat Cameroon 1-0. Let's have a look what happened here. Livramento. I swear I saw that name in the England liner. Yep. So Livramento scored the goal in the 54th minute. And yeah, definitely, yeah, Cameroon are looking precarious. Let me see what the table is looking like in that group. So Cape Verde are leading the group after 8 games with 19 points. Cameroon have got 15. Second place, so the 4 points, and they need 4 just to match Cape Verde. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be a tall task. It's looking really precarious for Cameroon to qualify directly to the World Cup because they're 4 points behind. There's only 6 points left to play for. And unless Cape Verde lose both their games or one and draw one, and then Cameroon win both of theirs, then yeah, looks like Cameroon will have to try and win a playoff. If they are one of their best sort of losers, they might have to go into the playoff. Then Libya is third with 14 points, Angola 10 points, Mauritius 5, and Eswatini 2. So yeah, not looking good for my people. That's my second team, by the way. I keep claiming them. I need better luck. Zambia, Cameroon, Nigeria. What am I playing at? Right. So in Group E, there was one game and it was Tanzania versus Niger. Niger beat Tanzania away from home, which was crazy. 1-0. In Group F, we've got Kenya versus Seychelles, and Kenya beat the Seychelles 5-0, which was a rout. Gabon Ivory Coast, surprisingly, was 0-0, probably very well matched. Ivory Coast, a big team. We all know what Ivory Coast have done the last few years, especially in the African Nations Cup. It's one of those teams that is always there, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were, leading the table, which they're doing, but very narrowly. So 8 games played. They have got 20 points. Gabon have got 19 points. The third team has got 10. So it's between Gabon and Ivory Coast. So if Ivory Coast win the next 2 games, then they're safe and they'll qualify directly. But any small mistake, Gabon might capitalize because the opposition, the other 4 teams are not great. We've got Gambia, Burundi, Kenya, and Seychelles. Literally, it's up to Ivory Coast to win this group. So, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them make it through. And then in Group H, Namibia beat South Santome and Principe. Need to find out where these guys are on the map. But yeah, so they beat them 3-0 in that group. Let's see who they are in with on the table in that group. Oh yeah, this is the group with Tunisia, who are leading the group at 22 points. So Namibia are not going far because they've only got 15. So yes, and then Liberia, Malawi, Equatorial Guinea, all very low down. Nothing's gonna happen any further. So yeah, that's it for the African games that were happening on Tuesday. So yeah, let me know what you think about the whole qualifications, the whole World Cup qualifications that's happening. And then I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for joining me. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video to anybody who you think might enjoy it. Right. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.